Good evening, and welcome to World News. I'm your host, and thank you for joining us. World leaders have gathered in Ankara, Turkey, for the 2026 NATO summit, where the alliance's primary focus has been strengthening collective security and reaffirming long-term support for Ukraine. The meeting brought together leaders from NATO member countries to discuss the evolving security situation in Europe, defense cooperation, and the challenges posed by the ongoing war in Ukraine. Throughout the summit, leaders stressed that unity remains one of NATO's greatest strengths. They reaffirmed their commitment to collective defense under Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, emphasizing that the security of every member nation remains a shared responsibility. Officials said the alliance will continue working together to respond to emerging security threats while maintaining peace and stability across the Euro-Atlantic region. Ukraine remained at the center of nearly every major discussion. NATO leaders agreed that continued military, financial, and humanitarian assistance is essential as Ukraine continues to defend itself against Russia's invasion. Secretary-General Mark Rutte said alliance members are expanding cooperation to ensure Ukraine receives sustained support while also strengthening NATO's own defense capabilities for the future. One of the summit's most significant announcements came from U.S. President Donald Trump, who said the United States will allow Ukraine to produce Patriot missile interceptors under license. The decision is intended to strengthen Ukraine's air defense capabilities as the country continues to face frequent missile and drone attacks targeting cities, infrastructure, and civilian areas. Defense analysts say stronger air defense systems could help Ukraine better protect its population and critical facilities while reducing the impact of long-range attacks. NATO officials also announced that member nations have pledged tens of billions of euros in military assistance, training, and security support for Ukraine during the coming year. Leaders emphasized that this assistance is designed not only to help Ukraine defend its territory today but also to strengthen its long-term security and military capabilities. At the same time, alliance members agreed to expand defense production by increasing manufacturing of missiles, ammunition, drones, and other advanced military equipment needed to respond to modern security challenges. Another major topic discussed during the summit was defense spending. Several member countries confirmed plans to increase investment in their armed forces, modernize military equipment, improve cyber defenses, and expand cooperation in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and unmanned systems. NATO officials said these investments are necessary to ensure the alliance remains prepared for future threats in an increasingly complex global security environment. Alongside the formal meetings, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held discussions with several world leaders, focusing on military assistance, reconstruction efforts, economic cooperation, and diplomatic initiatives aimed at achieving a lasting and just peace. Although diplomatic efforts continue, officials acknowledged that the security situation on the ground remains difficult, with fighting continuing in several regions of Ukraine. Beyond the conflict itself, leaders also discussed broader international challenges, including cybersecurity, hybrid warfare, the protection of critical infrastructure, and the importance of strengthening cooperation among democratic nations. Officials noted that modern security threats extend beyond traditional military conflicts and increasingly involve cyber attacks, misinformation campaigns, and attacks on essential services. Analysts say this year's NATO summit represents one of the alliance's most important meetings in recent years. The decisions announced in Ankara are expected to influence defense planning, military cooperation, and international security policy for years to come. While many challenges remain, NATO leaders expressed confidence that closer cooperation, increased defense investment, and continued unity will help strengthen regional and global stability. As the summit concludes, world leaders say their immediate priorities remain clear: continuing support for Ukraine, strengthening the alliance's collective defense, expanding military readiness, and pursuing diplomatic efforts that could eventually lead to a lasting peace. They also emphasized that cooperation among allies will remain essential as the international community faces an increasingly uncertain security environment. That concludes our coverage of the 2026 NATO Summit. Thank you for watching World News. Stay with us for more updates on international affairs, global politics, and breaking news from around the world. I'm your host, wishing you a safe and peaceful day. Goodbye.